Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to go ahead and give a review of Fortnite Season 6. After having a lot of time with the game, I really enjoy this season a lot more than I did at the start. So let's go ahead and go over a bunch of the things that have recently changed and came out this season that I think a lot of people are starting to adjust to, as a lot of people really didn't enjoy the makeshift shotgun in the very beginning, but we didn't know that we could upgrade it. We didn't know a lot of the different things that we could do this season, and as we play we kind of learn how things work, and I think that definitely makes the game a lot more enjoyable, because within the first day I was like, what the heck, they removed the first shot accuracy, these primal weapons are terrible. But as you learn that they are a little bit less accurate, they're a lot better at close range, and with this season vaulting snipers and having these bows, it really changes up the game, and I think that is kind of a nice change to have a different meta of what weapons and what range we actually play at, because this season I would say a lot more of the engagements and the kills are going to be at a closer range, simply due to the primal weapons existing and of course no snipers existing in the game as they're currently vaulted. Even though the bows can hit for quite a bit amount of damage, you can't do 200 damage to a bow with anyone, except for getting a headshot with the explosive bow and having the little like grenades pop off, which if you guys want to see a video on that, I made a dedicated video. I'll link it down below in the pinned comments. But like, I've been trying out all the new weapons and kind of seeing, which ones are actually really good and which ones are just kind of more for the fun department, right? But anyways, like I said, I've been playing this season primarily in squads though. Here's my current stats on Fortnite Tracker as of right now, and I primarily just play squads as a heads up, so this review is pretty much just going to be for squads, although I did play a couple games of solos and duos. But the reason why I like squads so much is I feel like there's more chaotic things that go on, and I enjoy that a lot more. But anyways, I'll also go over a bunch of things that I feel like should be changed this season for majority of players to make them a little bit more happy with the consistency of some of the weapons that exist right now in the current game. So first off, I feel like the shotguns, in terms of the shotgun pool, obviously the makeshift shotgun is something that you're supposed to upgrade. So that's totally fine. It's kind of set up so you start out with like bad weapons and you eliminate players, and then you start hunting wildlife, or you can talk to the NPCs, or even farm for some of these materials to upgrade your shotguns. And I think that's a cool idea, because it lets you kind of upgrade what you want. A lot of people do still like the pump, but the primal shotgun is definitely still great. Heck, sometimes I always feel like that gun is better when it's in other people's hands. I don't know if you guys feel the same way about that weapon, but I swear when I use that thing, I tag people for like 20s and stuff. Unless I'm within kissing distance, that gun just doesn't do enough damage. Unless they have it and they are hitting me for like 50s and 70s pretty consistently from like a little bit farther range. But overall, I personally still prefer the pump overall. But, people like different things, and it's good that it's still, like, viable, right? It's still, like, a gun that you can pick up and use, and it's not bad. In fact, the primal shotgun in the very beginning, when people have no shield, is probably the best one, as you can consistently, hold it down and just eliminate people. But, anyways, in terms of the shotguns, I feel like the primal shotgun could be a little bit more consistent. I don't know, again, if you feel the same way, but I feel like a lot of times I'm dealing very little damage sometimes, and sometimes I feel like I just melt people super fast. So I think making it a little bit more consistent, maybe making the gun have a little bit less bloom but less damage, or changing the fire rate, or just something to make the gun feel more consistent could definitely be something a little bit better. Same thing with the primal pistol. That's a weapon that no one really uses though. I always see that thing left on the ground, and that's because the primal pistol, just like all the primal weapons, they don't get the first shot accuracy, which right now this season, I think a lot of people are favoring the primal rifle over the regular assault rifle, and that is due to accuracy. But what I've really been liking this season is that revolver. That thing is awesome, because you can usually trade with people at long distances much better, even compared to the bow, which is supposed to be the long range weapon of this season. I feel like the revolver just beats it, because it's hit scan, it fires relatively fast, you don't have to draw it back, and then it doesn't have that travel time. But I really do like the revolver overall this season. It's something that I try to get most of the time, unless I happen to have a shockwave bow, then I just use that for mobility, which is the main weapon that I try to craft all the time. Speaking of crafting, like, I didn't know that you could craft by actually farming and getting these gears, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to get like the bones and the gears, because this was kind of earlier on in the gameplay. We're at level 27, but I'm also running the Tomb Raider skin, which is one of the newer skins in the Battle Pass, which I do want to talk about in the video. But I definitely feel like the Primal Pistol could be a little bit more consistent. I also think that the Stink Bow definitely needs a buff. I'm sure some of you guys have used it, and like the radius at the little cloud from the gas from the Stink Bow, it just does not hit people. So I think that that thing definitely needs a buff as well. I would also like to see a lot more weapons. Like I like how we have like the Primal and then we have the Mechanical, right? But I'm waiting for like a third one. A lot of people are speculating from game files. Some people are thinking there's going to be another third one coming out, and I have no idea. But I hope they do come out with like a third, like an alien weapon or something. The more variety we have, I'm totally fine with. Because I like that idea of trying to get the weapon that you want to play with and make sure that the other weapon is still good. Like right now, I think the Primal and the regular assault rifle, like the Scar, or if you want to get the Primal rifle, I think both of those are still very good. Like the Scar is going to be more accurate, but the other one is going to be able to potentially deal out more damage at a faster rate. So, you know, you have some pros and cons, and so I like that idea. One thing I do wish they added with this season, though, is that when you want to eliminate one player, I would really wish that you got a gear or a bone, because I'm not a fan of farming, like, you know, cars. Another thing I want to mention is, like, when you upgrade a weapon, like if you have a gray mechanical shotgun and you want to upgrade it to a green pump, it costs 4 gears, right? But if you have a blue makeshift shotgun and you want to convert it to a purple pump, it still costs 4 gears. Why? Like, I think going from gray to green should cost like 1 or 2, and then from, you know, blue to purple, that can cost 4. That's totally fine. I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but let me know, guys, what you think about that. But I think that that would definitely be really awesome to have in the game. Now, in terms of the season's like newer changes also, I'm sure a lot of you guys noticed it's harder to like spray into people's boxes or break into people's boxes and like basically steal walls. It's definitely harder to do this season. At least that's from my standpoint. I'm usually playing at like under 20 ping, so I don't feel like that's the issue. It's just harder to take walls for sure. This season, but there's lots of different ways to get into people's boxes, specifically with the Shockwave Bow. That makes things so much easier. Like I said, that's like one of my favorite things this season by far. But another thing that I do want to mention is that as far as the mobility this season, I think it's quite great. Like we have the new Mythic Boots, and if you guys want to see like how to get the Mythic Boots, I'm sure a lot of you guys know it already, but you have to go way out of the way and basically get this little like orb, then you have to take it all the way to the spire, then you can get the Mythic Boots. I feel like for the work that is required for these Mythic Boots, the Mythic Boots are like kind of meh. It's more like a fun item than I would say like an OP item that you try to go for every single time. Like back when the drum gun before it got nerfed, like when it was really good, you know, that was a weapon people would really try to go for. Right now with the Mythic weapon, we do have the new shotgun that you can get from the Spire, the Primal one, and it's like pretty good, but I don't feel like it's unique enough, right? Whereas some seasons we get those really unique mythic weapons, like, you know, the tracker pistol where it marks them. That's still in the game, by the way. But like, I like it when the mythics are like weird, like they do something that like no weapon does. Like it's not just extra +2 damage or whatever. It does something different. So I feel like the mythic this season, at least right now at the start, are a little bit weak. I think that they could either be more crazy and wild. Like the boots are pretty cool, but they're not like good. It's not like I'm gonna try to get them every time because one, they take way too long. Two, in an actual fight, are they really that great? If they worked on every single jump versus every third jump, it would be a little bit better. But mobility's pretty great this season. I mean, we have the chickens, we have the mythic boots, we have the shockwave bow, we have cars, boats, and you can even rift from NPCs. This season is excellent for mobility, which is something that I really like. As I wanted to upload this gameplay like full in its entirety, because a lot of times, you know, when you start cutting, it makes the game look more exciting, but, you know, rotation's a big thing in any battle royale, and I feel like it's boring, personally for me. But on the way, you can kill wildlife, which is cool, but I don't really kill wildlife. I don't know if any of you guys are the same way, but the wildlife just doesn't feel rewarding. Like, yeah, you can get a bow, and if you're trying to get a primal, like, rifle, I think it's okay for that, or the primal shotgun. But I feel like, compared to fishing, right, I think fishing has way better results. I think that instead of it dropping meat and bone every time, it could drop bone every time, but instead of meat, maybe it can drop, like, meat that can give you shields, like they have, like, a different colored meat or something like that, just so it's a little bit better and actually worth it to kill these things, because a lot of players haven't really been farming the wildlife. It's just something to do on the way. And what I do kind of like with the wildlife is, you know, it lets you know that there's someone over here, so you're going to go ahead and try to eliminate the player that's over there, right? Because you hear the gunfire, and I like that. It encourages more aggressive gameplay. But at the same time, there's really not too much of an incentive to try to kill the wolves or anything, other than I guess you get some XP. But for the most part, I think these could be more rewarding, so that's one thing that I think that I would make as a change to the season. Like, basically have them drop better items, or potential. It doesn't have to drop every single time, but just a small chance for something to actually drop that's not meat or bone, because it's kind of weak, especially when you get towards like the later stages of the game. But on top of that, they obviously will add more mythic weapons, but I feel like, you know, at the start they could have had a little bit more hype with that. But on top of that, in terms of the map, I think it's alright. I definitely think they could have used a little bit more biomes that are newer than just like the orange coloration, but I think that's just kind of to show these are the areas that got affected by this newer change too, so I guess that's probably for their own aesthetic, but it's overall like great. Like I said, because of the mobility that exists this season, because you can talk to the NPCs at certain areas like at Lake, you can just go warp out, and I love that, especially because I'm a content creator that likes to get high kill games, and that really helps out and encourages that for sure. Another criticism that I feel like a lot of players were talking about is this season's battle pass. For me, I never really care too much about skins, but I know that that is some incentives for people to play, right? That's part of people's retention rate. To keep people in the game, you gotta have some reason to go play the season. And I would say for me, like, I'm rocking the newer skin that came out on the battle pass, the Tomb Raider skin. Like, I grew up playing Tomb Raider, so it's kind of nostalgic for me, but like more recently, you know, a lot of kids that are from a younger generation, they're like, who the heck is Tomb Raider? What is she from? They don't know, right? Because simply, it just wasn't something that people, you know, played back in the day. So I think the Teen Titans skin is really cool though, but for me, again, I don't really care too much about like the skins in the battle pass. I'm gonna grind out the season regardless because I just like playing the game. But you know, the Teen Titans, the Raven skin, that's really cool. The Raven glider is really cool, but I definitely agree that the battle pass could have been a little bit better. Again, I think maybe for like the younger generation, certain other skins could have been definitely really cool. I think it'd be cool to get like a Fortnite icons skin, you know, like in the battle pass as well. Something that, you know, again, more people can relate to, because again, I think that some of these skins, people don't know who the heck they are, and I get it, right? Especially coming off of, you know, with more recent like Marvel battle pass, like that's a really hard battle pass to really beat, but nonetheless, that's how I feel. I really wish the farming would be a little bit faster for getting gears. I know it's kind of random on how many gears that you get, but like sometimes you farm a car and it just takes so long, and it only drops one gear and you have to farm multiple. I think it's just busy work. I'm not a fan of busy work in any game, right? And I think most people would enjoy to see a little bit more action. But like, because the Shockwave bow exists, oh my gosh, this literally makes the season so much better for me. But kind of wrapping up my thoughts over here, let me actually fast forward to where we actually are going to be engaging some people, because again, sometimes on these rotations, it can be a little bit dry. In any Battle Royale game, this isn't just with Fortnite, but that's just part of the game. But I would say overall, it's a pretty decent season. I would say this is one of my more favorite seasons that has come out more recently. But at the start, I will 100% admit that I didn't really like the season at the start because I didn't understand how things worked. And I think a lot of people are starting to feel the same way. They're like, okay, you know, I like this. This is my go-to setup. I get, you know, either right now, like my setup is to get the purple pump, and then I try to get a primal rifle. Although I still don't mind the regular rifle. Like if I get a regular rifle, I don't usually end up crafting one unless, you know, I happen to come across a blue and I can craft it to a purple. Because again, I feel like bones are a little bit underrated right now. Like there's not that many people that are really trying to craft the primal rifles. But on top of that, I like the idea of choosing your path, and I wish that there was a little bit more branches for this rather than just two. Again, like if we had three, that'd be really cool. Again, some either like monster weapon. I guess Primal's kind of like a, you know, monster because it has like the bone system. But those are the things that I would change. But I'm curious to know what you guys think of this season. What would you guys change with this? Like I said, I think that the Primal Shotgun could be more consistent. That is either a buff or a nerf. It could be kind of both in a sense. I just want it to be more consistent. So maybe either less damage, but the bloom is like a lot tighter, like the spread, or adjust the fire rate, but make it more consistent in the damage department. At least for me, I feel like the pump for me is totally fine, but sometimes I swear that Primal Shotgun just melts people super, super fast. But that's what I think about it. Let me know, guys, what you think overall. pretty much for me, if I was to give it a number, I'd probably give it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. But what number would you guys give it down below in the comment section below? That's pretty much all my thoughts. Would love to know yours down below. But thanks for watching, guys, and if you enjoyed the video, drop a like on it. If you're new here and you want to see more Fortnite videos, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and you'll see more very soon. And check the pinned comments. I'll leave the video with the new explosive bow and how to craft it, as well as the new mythic boots. And anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, and I'm out. Peace.